I'd like to thank my daughter and Kobe for giving me this 3D print of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bust. It was really cool, really fun to do. It was really quick. All I did was do minimum shading and layering to get it where, to me, to have a comic book feel. That's where I was going with it. I dry brushed everything. The only thing I airbrushed was the primer, and I'll pop in and out. And I appreciate you watching the video. All I used was Vallejo. That's I prefer the Vallejo primers. It just seems to me that they're not as sticky as other primers, and this one's just a straight black primer. And I just filled it all in and let it dry, hit it with 2 or 3 coats, and that was about it with the priming process. Now that the primer's all done, I went in with some Vallejo. It's a olive green, a real dark green, just to give it some kind of a base as well on top of the black, so it just wasn't straight black. You really can't tell at the end anyway. It looks black anyway, I guess, but after several coats, this is what it looks like. Then after that, I jumped right to the Createx light green. It's not so much light, but it's a green. Just looks like a standard green to me. Before I move on to the next green, I believe I used 3 coats of this green right here. So after a few coats of this green here, I think it was like 4, I moved on to the light green from Createx. I wanted to go a little lighter. I know Raphael, I don't think he's this light, but I decided to go a little lighter just to make him look like he's real vibrant, cartoony feel. So when I seen the lime green, I thought, yeah, I'm just going to go with it. It's from Createx. It's the Wicked line. Didn't take too many coats of this here. I'm pretty sure it was no more than two or three at the most. I don't think I used as much as the last, but maybe I did. But after I'd done this, I thought, okay, this is where I want to stay. This is where I needed to be, at least for what I was looking for. So I decided to go move on to the shell. I taped it off real quick, just so I wouldn't, interrupt anything that I did already. And raw umber. I love brown all umber. I go with that all the time. I don't know why, but I do love that color brown. All I did is go in, try to hit it real lightly, and I must say these brushes aren't the best. These are kind of a cheaper version of a dry brush, if you want to call it that. I need to get some makeup brushes, I think. Just the brush on this, you can tell that it's cheap when you're using them. Don't know the name of them. They were like at Hobby Lobby for like 4 of them for like $3. But I just wanted to test it out first if I was even going to get into dry brushing or something I'd like to do. But after doing it now for a couple projects, I kind of like where it's going. But after the raw umber, I went in with a tutorial beige, but I'll show you guys that here in a minute. Okay, here's that tutorial beige. I know the Apple Barrel's not a really expensive end type paint, but it seems to work. I don't know. I still use Apple Barrel. I don't know. The color's there. I don't feel like trying to mix the color. I know it probably takes more patience and time to use it opposed to a better acrylic paint, but it all comes out in the end, I think. But right here you can see it's working pretty well. I know it took several coats, maybe like 5 or 6 coats to get it where I needed to be. But yeah, I just say just take your time, and you can always go with the cheaper paint sometimes, It doesn't always have to be an expensive paint. Didn't show you here on camera, but I believe it was a sand. It was a sand color. It was from Apple Barrel as well. Like I said, some of the Apple Barrel stuff doesn't really cling too well. You put it on your finger, you can wipe it right off. a more expensive paint. If you get it on your finger, it's almost like dyeing your finger. It's crazy. But I decided to move from the sand color back to the tutorial beige. I did on the back. I did the same thing on the front like 4 or 5 times to get to the desired color I needed to be. And like I said, I didn't try to go really deep on this one, which I don't really feel like it, number one. And number two, I'm probably not that skilled set yet to go really crazy with deep shading yet. But I kind of, like I said, I was kind of looking for a ABC type of paint job, and I think I achieved it, like a cartoony look. So yeah, I do want to mention that after I got done this part here, I did definitely have some cleanup, as you can see there on the left-hand side on the top of his chest, but my camera got full. I ran out of space, where I went here, and what I did was use just an opaque red from Createx, went down the scar on his chest there. I don't want to make it an old-looking scar. I wanted to make it look like it was a fresh wound. See, I missed it, but I did go with the red, just solid red down the scar, and I used Vallejo silver for the staples. I used those on the back of the shell as well. And now here we're going right to his mask, and I used a Calabaine red, which was too dark. After I did that for a couple coats, that I kind of got where you're looking at it now. I'm thinking, man, okay, I was going for a burgundy red, but you'll see here in a minute, I just jumped right back into the Createx straight red, and that seemed to work as well. I think it was only 1 or 2 coats after that, and that's where I got the desired look I wanted to get with his mask. Well, here it is at the end, and I'm really happy how it turned out. Something really quick. And I did put a metal post in the side of them, and I put it down inside a piece of pink foam, and I just, instead of going always with gray, I went with the red to match his bandana, so to speak. Just red because it's Raphael. Real quick, real easy, out of foam, pink foam. Here's at the end, like I said, I really enjoyed this. This was really fun, really quick piece to do, and it turned, for how fast it was I'd done it and how fun it was, it turned out pretty good. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks a lot. If you've been sticking around and checking out the channel, I appreciate everybody that watches. And thanks again to my daughter and Kobe. This was an awesome little gift.